If you guys aren't currently hunting for low cap meme coins right now, you have to ask yourself, what are you doing? Are you not interested in making life-changing gains very, very soon? The meme coin market is absolutely exploding. And a lot of people think it's just kind of a luck. Picking the right meme coin casino will give you crazy gains. And you hear about all the time that person who has a friend who retired off of buying some meme coin. But it's not really just about luck. Actually, there's skill involved. And then today, we're gonna talk about what that skill might look like. And we're gonna look at some of the meme coins that I'm looking at toward the end of the video that I think have real legs and potential. So in this video, guys, I'm gonna teach you how to find the gems before they explode. That's the point. And before we do, let's dive into some macro because it's been a few days since we've talked. And I think there's some really impressive things going on. So first thing we're gonna do is look at this Bitcoin chart. It looks nice, 68,135, very, very nice. Look at this. Yeah, this seems pretty clear to me. But if we break through this resistance line up here on the weekly, which is in 2 days and 17 minutes. So as long as we can hold through the weekend, I think that we see a rally much higher. If not, we come back and retest in this range here, eventually likely breaking out to the upside. But just a sign of things ahead. If you guys need any more conviction on where the market is going, look at what the ETFs are doing. Over the past 5 days of market, there's been $2.1 billion just in the last week. Last Friday to Thursday, over $2.1 billion in buy pressure coming into Bitcoin. And we've already told you that the supply on exchanges is all-time low. So this is why we're seeing now it forcing the price up. It's actually insane. As Cointelegraph says over here, new global M2 money supply continues to grow, outpacing the previous cycle. And Bitcoin open interest is at a new all-time high. This is showing you that people are coming back, at least institutions are coming back and having interest in the markets. However, with that being said, the heat map of the funding rates for leverage trades and futures contracts is still really neutral. So that means that we're not overheated. It's a really healthy position for the market to be in. Usually when this whole thing is like, this color down here, when it's over here in these yellows and reds, that's when we have to be careful, always looking for a big leverage flush and reset. But now it looks quite healthy. But, you have been noticing, and maybe you guys are a little bit confused about what's going on, but when Bitcoin pumps, it tends to pull, the altcoins. If we get like a 4 or 5% pump in a day, altcoins tend to go down. They're just sucking. Bitcoin dominance is leading the rally so far. So it is a Bitcoin dominated market cycle going right now. But when this flips, right, when this chart starts coming down and altcoins start pumping, it's going to be insane. And breaking news, guys, Bonk now is a ETF or ETP from this Osprey funds. It's not a huge fund, but it's something. And it shows you that a meme coin is now an ETP. It's not traded on the secondary markets yet, but just the fact that it got approved was pretty impressive. Okay, and as you can see here in the last month right now, we have that meme coins way above everything else, above Bitcoin, above smart contract platforms, above AI tokens, above S&P, NASDAQ, et cetera, It is recently, outperforming from the 1 year and year to date as well. Also very clear indicator that meme coins are absolutely crushing. You can see here that and the reason it dives down over here on this chart is just because there's no data from trading yet. But you can see meme coins have outperformed everything else over the past year so far, which is absolutely crazy. Okay, and if we look over here on CryptoRank, we can see my head is in the way, but if I scroll down a little bit, you can see that I just filter change year to date and look at the top, 10 here, whatever. You got Popcat, Mog, Urbo with Pepe, Floki, right? So like the top performers of the last year have been meme coins. No wonder why people are flocking to meme coins. And this is a really good post by Lark Davis saying that meme coins are sitting at 32% mind share, yet they occupy only 2.4% of the total crypto market cap. No one is bullish enough, right? Memes dominating. This is why Murad talks about the meme coin super cycle. And Miles says, this cycle, if you're serious about making money, you're basically being forced to long memes or other alts, or versus other alts. Very important. Versus other alts. Don't trade based on what you want. A lot of people like myself want tech alts to be more popular. We want good tech to thrive. But if you want to make money, you need to look at what is actually happening right now. And there's no denying what is happening with memes at the moment. Let's have a listen here to Murad.
Have you heard of stories of people becoming rich this year? I'm sure you have, right? But statistically, the majority of them, at least for me, I know 3 or 4 people that have done this with Pepe. I know 3 or 4 people that have done this with Whiff. And I know 3 or 4 people that have done this with like a couple of smaller meme coins like Giga.
By the way, we all did that, right? We all did it with Pepe, Whiff, Bonk. We crushed. Good job, guys. Good job.
Bonk, as well as famous stories.
Right.
Popcat, etc. Right?
Oh, also Popcat, called at the very beginning, right?
And by and large, on top of that, a lot of like the phantom screenshot, like non-scammy phantom screenshots that you do see that are real came from memes as well, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
Already in 2024, retail, like retail college students, retail taxi drivers, whoever, like their stories of like their cousin or their friend making it, statistically, it's likely to happen from memes, right? Which means that when they come, when like the second wave of retail comes, when the third wave of retail comes, they're going to try to mimic their cousin's behavior and their cousin's sector. And they're going to be like, oh, he made money through Whiff. Let me also try to make money with memes. Let me find another meme. Yeah. And so multiply this by 1 million, you get these like structural momentum effects, right? And so I think that meme coins and probably to a lesser extent AI are going to be the big performers in 2025.
Yeah, very interesting perspective. If you haven't seen this talk that he did at Token 2049, it's called Memecoin Supercycle, has on Murad's account about 3 million impressions. It's really good. This one over here, really good presentation. Go watch it. On Must Stop Murad is his X account. So Chris Berninsky says, basically meme coins are PFPs with more, like PFP NFTs with more liquidity. And the 2021 bull run, we had all of these NFTs and it was a very PvP environment, right? And then no one cared. It was just like this crazy money-making cash grab. And we're seeing the exact same thing happening with meme coins, but there is more liquidity. And most of these meme coins, 99.9% of them will go to zero. Most of them go to zero every day, but by the time in the next 18 months, like most of these will be worth zero. So picking the right ones and understanding the game is very, very important. So Ansem says over here, people bearish meme coins long-term are not realizing that Zoomers who spend 90% of their time online have discovered a new internet mini game. The task, make your favorite meme go as viral as possible. The prize, you win $1 million. This trend will only accelerate. So let's check out this.
Meme coins are simpler than tech alts. They're more liquid than NFTs. They're safer than DeFi. They have no inflation, no unlocks. They have no one dumping on you. You have better odds than with sports betting or casinos. You have more volatility, aka excitement. It's a fresher narrative. It gives retail a chance to win. And the community is much more passionate than in any other crypto asset class. And the best crypto products don't require a token, and the best crypto tokens don't require a product. Meme coins are simpler than tech.
That's really great kind of summary of his whole presentation. And so Eugene over here says, like, the beautiful thing is, like, and just for you guys watching too, who watch the channel often and who are kind of sick of meme coins, like, you don't have to have your entire portfolio in memes. Like, in fact, that's probably a bad idea. But barbell strategy, right? We talked about barbell many, many times before, where you have, your majority of your investment capital into things like Bitcoin, Solana, SUI, these blue chips, right? And then you have some percentage of it, whatever you're comfortable with in your risk tolerance, is over here in this kind of high risk, high reward environment, because the asymmetric upside is so big. And of course, the more blue chippy your memes get, the less risk you have. And of course, the newer ones that are just minted, highly risky, highly reward, but most likely going to lose on those. So be careful. Mellow Metrics over here says, should you invest in meme coins and which ones should you buy? Buying memes is essentially a high leverage bet on Bitcoin and crypto as a whole. Memes are the chosen narrative this cycle. As BTC surges, memes will go up 100x. For conviction bags, focus on memes above 10 million market cap. Block out the noise and ignore low cap shitters. Focus on cult communities, focus on cabal memes. Most importantly, have a clear exit plan. Understand that once Bitcoin enters a bear market, most memes will become obsolete, which is why I just told you guys. In the meantime, we focus on making generational wealth. So Murad over here says, stop gambling on trash and buy real memes and real cults. So these are some of his favorite picks. You guys probably have seen this thing floating around the cryptoverse. And to identify a cult meme coin, ask the following questions. Does it evoke strong emotion? Can it be part of people's identity? Does it inspire thousands of people? Can it sustain attention for a long time? Can it become a global movement? Really, really, really like this. In fact, at the end of this video, guys, I made a checklist. We're gonna start adding some meme coins that we're paying attention to, and we're gonna see which of these things does it check, right? So he also says buy meme coins that can become very big, obviously. I know that sounds simple, but like it doesn't make sense. But anyway, buy coins that have undergone multiple 70% corrections. Study coins that spent a long time under $10 million. Study coins which have people hustling for free. This is communities. This is the most important thing in my opinion. Use bubble maps and holder scan to check distribution. And as we get into Murad's number one pick is this S&P 6900. Now, I made a post on this recently talking about how I actually took a very large position in this, and it took me a little while to understand what it was. But essentially, so you have, remember Wall Street Bets, right? So Wall Street Bets, crazy phenomena, and GameStop, and that was insane, right? That was just like, oh, what if us, a bunch of retailers, flip the hedge funds, right? And show them how powerful we are. If you guys have not been in the crypto market for multiple cycles, they get so crazy. There's so many people that come in. There's so much retail. There's so much, so much euphoria and money and liquidity and blah, blah. So now we have a new ambition. Our ambition is to flip the stock market. Right? And that's S&P 6900. So I think this is, Murad did a ton of work. He did a ton of work to find great cults, great meme coins. And I'm on a mission to find, another list of some great ones. So here, just so you're watching too, understand that probably every single meme coin I talk about on this video, I'm holding a bag. Just know that. And if I'm not, for some reason, I'll let you know. Actually, there are a couple I think that I'm not holding. I'll let you know. But that being said, what I'm trying to do now is take an approach similar to what Murad did and go and really look for the winners, right? I want to build a list of, let's say, the top 10 high conviction ones, place bets on those and not be all over the place. I'm sure that you guys would appreciate that, a way that we can rally behind 10 and not have our attention spread too thin. And those of you who are willing to work for your bag, we can go into these communities and help raise them to the top. That I think is a success for winning. Okay, so now let's talk about SUI for a second. So if you're not following me on X, you should do that at Kyle_Chasse. And here is a list of all the SUI memes. And you got Hippo leading the way, Uni, I have no idea what that is, Axel, but AAA is the one that I'm the most interested in. I'm also holding positions in others, and we'll go over that into the show. But I'll show you why I'm interested in AAA. So AAA reminds me of PopCat. Now, this is not very, very new. I mean, it did come out in September? So it's not old either, but it's been around for a little while, and it's starting to get some traction, and it is like the number one cat over there on SUI, and it reminds me a lot of PopCat, for example. So SUI had when we made the video on it, it had a bit of a rush, and now it's chilling off a little bit, but I think that you just be mindful and cognizant that it's going to take longer for liquidity to come to the SUI ecosystem. And so you are making more high risk bets over there that it will continue to have inflows, because let's say that, next week Aptos becomes popular, then everyone takes money away from SUI. Now it's Aptos's turn. And then, in January, Monad launches, and now it's Monad's turn, right? And so we just don't know. It's still early. We have to be very careful. There's not high conviction that SUI is absolutely going to take off yet this bull run, but I placed quite a bit of bets over there in case it does. I'll be quite happy. And my thesis over here is just that AAA is a real team, real community building over there, real cult-like for how early it is. And I do think that it has potential to do something like PopCat, right? And so it's still quite early. If we look over here, it's had a nice correction. You want to see these corrections, as I just read from Murad's stuff earlier. Look for cult coins that have had multiple 70% corrections, and you can see here from the top where are we at right now. Price range here to here, more or less 61, 62%. It's probably 70% from the top up here, right? So you have a 70% correction here essentially, and this is what you want to look for. Probably a very good place to come in my opinion. But you can see it says low volume right now. There's multiple dexes, so this isn't a full representation of the volume on AAA. So for me, it did look like a pretty good buying area. You can see, could it go lower? Maybe, but it seems to be liking this resistance line over here. So I don't know that it will. It seems to be hovering here, but 9 million, if that goes to PopCat valuations, it is huge, right? That's over 100x from here if it goes to, something like PopCat's valuations. So as long as SUI takes off in this bull run, then it stands a chance. But you can see that they're actually, continuously updating, which is really good to see. You want to make sure that the team is posting on a regular basis. You can see this is the AAA cat, and they're working over there, right? So good to see. The other one is FUD. So FUD is on SUI as well. Remember, guys, SUI is remember what I said, it's going to be slower to evolve, but relatively low market caps over there. So, I'm not a huge fan of the dog, for example, but you can see they are getting listed on some decent exchanges. But what's most interesting is this ecosystem over here, right? Turbo, Cetus, Aftermath, Swedland, Pseudo Finance, Pith, Tippus. They've all integrated this FUD character into their ecosystems. And this reminds me a lot like Bonk. So maybe this becomes the Bonk of SUI. Who knows? We will find out. Here's the top SUI ecosystems by market cap. What else we got over there? Well, this is the FUD chart. FTV is 61 million, but circulating market cap is 36, and they're burning some of these tokens, a lot of them. So market cap is more representative of what the actual market cap is of the token at the current moment. But you can see it has a nice, healthy retracement, just like everything in the SUI ecosystem right now is retraced actually. So let's see where price range. So bam, bam, 35% or something like that retracement. And Blub is another one, again, just like everything else in SUI, had that great run a couple weeks ago, and now everything else is getting pretty smashed. But you can see also, I think this is like, for me, seeing these things actually, I kind of like, and then recovery is important. It just means that a lot of the earlier holders, I think, are getting out, right? They're taking their profits, they're getting out, get better distribution. And so Blub seems like another one for me. Blub is kind of like, it's like this guy, right? At one end, he kind of looks like a fish, and then he has this ability, I guess, to like morph into some sort of like anamorphized some sort of human that looks kind of like Brett in a way. I don't know. But people are touting him as the mascot of SUI. I'll leave that up to you guys to decide on your own. So everything that I'm looking at right now is essentially things I'm looking at and considering, and I'm going to go in and do a deep dive. So if you're watching this, let me know which meme coins you think have the best, most vibrant communities. The ones that have been around longer than, let's say, ideally longer than 3 or 4 months, even longer than 5 months and still going strong. Let me know in the comments below which ones you guys are really bullish on. And if any of these ones I said so far you're interested in. Klaus is the next one that seems to be taking off. So as you guys know, we had this Matt Fury meta, right? Matt Fury, Pepe, Brett, the Boys Club. I made a great video. I'll link it in the description below if you want to learn more about the Boys Club. But now we seem to have this kind of Seth MacFarlane meta over here, and it's been taking off pretty crazy, right? People are like, wow, this is kind of like the Brett thing. You've got, so this Klaus inspired some copycats, right? So now you've got Peter Griffin, you've got like Stewie, you've got other people from Seth MacFarlane characters, and had a nice little correction. This is good. This is probably early insiders getting out over here. But what you see is it's holding up. There's some support over here. And would have liked to have seen it go a little bit lower myself personally. But let's see, is a good buying point right now. It's at 25% below. Pretty good buying point over here. This is on ETH, by the way, which I think is really good. You tend to have a lot more stability on ETH versus Solana, for example. Good volume, good beta. Whenever someone starts making copycats of something, like in that same meta, the beta plays, I think it kind of sets the tone as like an industry leader, industry first. So Klaus, so far, so good. It is newer, so it's not something that's been around for many months. It's kind of like this newer meta. Is it going to take off? Is it not? And that's the thing, is like you just don't know if something catches people's attention really short and everyone leaves it in a while, or if it actually becomes something that sticks. And time is the only way to really tell from that. And that's why Murad often said, look for things that are 6 months or older to see how dedicated the community really is to keeping the thing alive. All right, guys. So lock-in is another one. And remember, guys, I'm not really endorsing any of these things I'm talking about. I do hold positions in most of them. But what I'm trying to do right now, and I just want to make this video and bring to you guys the ones I'm looking at. What I'm trying to do is go through most of these. I'll show you also all the ones I'm looking at the very end. But I'm just kind of walking you through right now as I talk some of the mindset, some of the philosophy of why we're even looking at these a little bit. And you can see this lock-in is having a nice recovery over here after a bit of a correction. But this lock-in is just basically, it's kind of checks the boxes. Well, I'll show you the check boxes later, but this is kind of where it came from, right? It came from the whole GameStop thing.
I'm a good liar. I have no tells.
Get up, motherfucker. You're not fucking good enough. You gotta work fucking harder.
Do you actually want to do this or not? Do you actually want to do this or not? Because if you actually want to do it, what's going to stop you? Nothing.
Grab your fucking nuts for once in your life. Get back to fucking work. It's time to get back to work. Follow through for something.
So that's the vibe we're locking. Get her done. And then over here, you've got Sigma. So I don't know if it's loading. Sigma, if you guys don't know, like there's alphas and then there's sigmas. Alpha is more like the Giga Chad kind of character. And then Sigma is kind of like the independent masculine male who's different than your traditional thing, whatever. You know, guys like this guy from Fight Club and stuff like that. So again, people identify in a certain meme, right? And Sigma, Giga, like really has been crushing. Sigma, as you can see, you know, has had a really good run so far and falling off the back of the Giga climb. Again, can you identify as part of this cult, you know, at $60 million FTV? Now, these things aren't expensive. They're not cheap, right? They're not expensive and they're not cheap. But what they're probably not going to do is they're probably not going to disappear right now, right? Like that's good. Unlike most new things, you know, I've got some people that send me just things all the time that are brand new and just launched. I'm like, no, man, like I can't, I don't have the time, attention, and money to sit there and keep chucking money into these new things that all of them rug. There's no serious things. Like these things have been established, most of them, not all of them, but that's why I want to do some more due diligence and everything and bring you something I'm more confident in and some sort of list that we can all get behind, at least those who want to, you know, moving forward. So you can see Sigma's growth in wallet account holders. This is a cool feature, actually. And as you can see over here, you have some pretty significant growth in Sigma, for example. I mean, over the past 7 days, the wallet holder count has grown by 22.2%, which is a great sign. You want to see the community growing. Every time that large whales get out, they sell their tokens and distribute to many, many more people. This one I think is pretty funny. Like, you know, I used to live on Koh Phangan in Thailand, and it was full of like hippie people, you know, who would manifest stuff. And I think this is really funny. You know, this is the manifest cat right here, right? And it's just like, let's manifest this thing to billions, right? The cat that makes your dreams become a reality. I just think this is hilarious. And I really like this one. It's still really small, right? Relative to other things right now. It's still sitting at $12 million market cap. I just think it's hilarious. You know, still relatively new. It goes back over here, launched in July. Not super new though, right? I remember when this thing first came out. I do have a small position over here with Manifest as well. And here's some of the vibes.
Manifest.
I manifested this. I'm a visual learner.
Well, I don't try to manifest him. I manifest him.
I have the ability to manifest.
So I started manifesting.
I am a powerful manifester.
Anybody can be a manifester.
You can manifest.
It's crazy how things just form, dreams just form into reality.
No, it manifests itself into a business to where they can make some money.
I manifest. I was told that I was a manifester.
We can create different realities.
She taught me how to manifest my life.
You know, I had to convince myself.
Let your mind go fully to the impossible dream of where they could be.
So there's your Manifest vibes. I like it. I like that one. Selfie Dog, these guys have just been relentless, right? Like, this is so interesting to see these like really big things and these quite violent corrections. Again, to me, every time I see these big corrections and restoration, it gives me faith that there's a big bright future ahead, right? And some of these might not go to 50 billion, but like they're probably definitely going to go to billion in the bull run, sure. So you're going to, you know, that's a 10, 30x, 35x from here, right? If it goes to a billion, it's pretty hilarious. Like Selfie Dog, you can just take any picture and put the Selfie Dog in the picture. It's quite viral. You can do literally anything with it. So it's one of these things that has a great versatility. You can literally take any hilarious picture. Like you can just take like that Trump, the famous Trump picture, right? Like this, and then just put like Selfie Dog there. Like he was there taking a picture with Trump in the background after he got shot. Right. So this is, I like this one. It's small community, but it's real. Like I see it's real. So again, something that we're going to explore over here. Okay, let me give you guys a few more, run through these other ones real quickly. Remember, I'm just looking at, so this one, this golden ratio, I don't hold anything of it yet so far. It was made aware to me when this pump came in, and it has a nice correction right now. I don't have it. I'm not confident in it yet. It seems to have like this SPX vibe in it. It was started around the same time, I believe, by some of the same kind of early people in SPX. But to me, it doesn't have as this is the kind of the vibes there. It's not the same. It's saying this golden ratio and everything in life is this thing. It's interesting. I'll see how the community is. I haven't done much research there. This is very interesting to me. This is what was probably something that seems to be toward the top of my interest list. Now, Book of Ethereum with Pepe. This is kind of the history of what Ethereum is going through here, and it just seems to have a really strong community that's been involved for a long time. All the way back here in April when it was created. So it has that right time frame. Spent a long time over here, below $10 million valuation, as Murad said, and it has like a cult-like community growing around it. This other one is Goat. This one's new, right? I do have a position in this one, and this is I'm actually making another video very soon on the whole history and story of this thing. It's quite fascinating if you guys aren't familiar with it. Goticius Maximus. Just in a few short days, this thing's been around for what? Let's see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9 days, 7, 8, 9 days, something like that. And it's already at $362 million valuation. A lot of people got really rich in there like crazy. All right, guys, another one too that I'm just looking at. Again, I haven't yet bought into this one, but it keeps getting brought back into my radar, this Cafe. And, it's true. It's like such a popular thing on the planet that 4.3 billion people can't start the day without coffee. Is it hilarious enough? I don't know. This is one that I still need to explore the ecosystem a bit more, but it has sustained for quite some time. Was started back here in July, and seems to be quite strong here and growing. Good volume, decent liquidity, good looking chart. All right, guys, this is a newer one over here on SUI as well. It's the one that ChatGPT would recommend. If I asked ChatGPT before I saw this, hey, if there was one perfect meme coin for the SUI ecosystem, what would it be? And ChatGPT said, oh, let's call it SUI. And then someone brought this to my attention. So the AI seems to think that this thing is the right meme coin for the SUI ecosystem. And I like that it's not focused just around SUI. It has a fun little name twist, but it's just like a general Shiba. But the chart looks like it got a lot of traction and steam ahead. This is probably a matter of some people taking profits and the SUI ecosystem just taking a breather and cooling off for a minute right now. You can see there hasn't been much price action though. Pay attention to this. Low liquidity, in my opinion. This needs to be fixed. You can't really even go buy or sell large orders there right now at all. Volume is quite low, 50,000. So I do think it's interesting. I did buy a position of SUI down here as well, or SUI Nami down here as well. I think this is at this point, it's probably not going to lose much. It does seem like the team is quite motivated to build that community. As you can see, it's still quite small, and they launched right at the tail end of the short little SUI hype thing that we had. I'm not saying that that's over. I'm just saying that it'll come in waves, right? When we see this kind of thing. Now, Bongo is another one too. Bongo is something I discovered recently. Again, this is actually quite fascinating. You can see this thing was dead for a long time. It's a clear community takeover and just had some life pumped back into it. Let's look at the daily chart because it's too long on this 4-hour chart. So it was started all the way back in Christmas of 2023. And just nothing for a long time, and then boom. Now, what's really interesting about this, it's sitting currently at $16.4 million valuation. I got into it, I think around 12 or 16 or something like that. So not far from here. And let's listen to this little point where this guy makes a great video, at Rager. Yeah, go follow at Rager. This post was made on October 12th. And it's quite compelling. So it's a 10-minute video, but I'll show you just 1 minute clip of it.
Bongo Cat. So let me go ahead and give my thesis on why I believe Bongo Cat can be one of the most popular and widely successful meme coins, and why I think it is just ridiculously undervalued. Bongo was actually launched last December around the same time PopCat launched, and we all know what PopCat has done. It's been one of the most popular and successful memes this cycle, hitting 1.5 billion in market cap. Now, Bongo, like many memes that have launched, had a dev that launched the token, then sold, and left Bongo the cat for the community to take over. Now, since then, something really cool has been happening. There's been a growth of community and believers that have stuck by Bongo's side. Believers in the sense that even as you can see, top wallets that got in the Bongo token this past January actually continue to hold their positions today.
Now, this guy goes in to continue and talk about how big Bongo is as a worldwide phenomenon. and how popular it is, and there's how there's forums devoted just to Bongo Cat and these kind of things. So I suggest that you go watch this entire video to understand just why it got me interested and it made my ears perk up. It's a new kind of community takeover. There's been some revived life. It's still very early, right? Very like, yes, this coin was made a long time ago, but there's only recent interest in it recently. So we shall see. This other one too that was brought to my attention, Puffy. You know, I don't really see a huge effort here, you know, just like these, but it's just I just like literally today got brought to my attention. So I thought I'd just tell you what I was looking at, right? And I don't own this one yet. So what we need to do is we need to look at this kind of the checklist that we talked about earlier, and where we're starting to kind of go through here and say, okay, like here's the things that we've talked about. We still need to add a bunch to it, right? Another one too is Tucker, Tucker Carlson. Even though the chart's not going like crazy right now, I still think this is going to be absolutely insane in the bull market. Let's just go and take a look at see what is the chart right now. If we go check out Tucker, I think it's a really good entry for myself personally. We call this very, very early. And, you know, it just seems to not be catching a bid right now, but I think that this is still what you want to see is a long-term committed, like the founders of this team are still putting out daily content that's incredible, super brilliant. And, you know, I just think it's a matter of time. And we'll just show you here some of the stuff. So you've got people like Russell Brand, who has reposted Tucker's content, right? Crazy. You've got Raoul Powell, Scott Melker, Ryan Selkis, and then you've got even Michael Saylor, you know, post out it, right? Take me to the moon, Bitcoin. 630,000 views for Tucker. So this is maybe one of my most interesting plays, because I think what's lacking here is just some of the communities around it, like the kind of community leaders in a way to really drive this thing. But the content is incredible. The ability to reach millions of eyeballs is there. Some of the biggest names in the space are talking about it. Arthur Hayes, you know, Raoul Powell, Ansem, all these guys are aware of it. So I think that the virality is there. Just need to figure out how to grow that community attention around the ticker is Tucker and the token. So guys, again, we're working on building out this list. Probably next week or something, I should have a bit more high conviction in some of these. I wanted to give you guys an example of everything I was looking at. And today you can see also here, just this is the holder scan of most of the projects I've mentioned. They're not all on here. I'm adding them. I'm keeping an eye, and I'm going to build out a high conviction list, and I'll share with you guys as soon as I have that ready. That's it for today. Take care, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.